What's going on? It's Filthy and I'm back with another Diablo video. I'm going to stick my neck on the line. I'm going to say we're going to get a Season 17 end date, Season 18 theme announcement and also 266 patch notes in the next 2 weeks. It could be as early as the day I'm doing this video, could be the end of the week, could be next week, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say it's then. What can I say, guys? I'm just optimistic. Now, whilst we wait for any such announcements, I thought it'd be fun to go through some of the potential themes for Season 18, and I've ranked what I think are the best 5 that I've come across. So this is from the forums, this is from Reddit, listening to podcasts, that sort of thing. I've tweaked a couple here and there, but in general, full credit to anybody who's come up with them, and I just want to go through them. Now, obviously, you guys are pretty creative. You'll probably come up with better themes. So if you can think of anything better that is in this list, stick it in the comments. And if you like any of these themes, again, comment below. Let's try and get a bit of discussion going. Now, before we jump in, a friendly reminder to subscribe and hit that notification bell. But other than that, let's get to it. Number 5 is going to be Bastions of Will. So a season based around focus and restraint. So if you don't know what these two items are, it's a ring set in the game. You get a 50% damage buff when you use a generator, and a 50% damage buff when you use a spender. So nice and straightforward. It has fallen by the wayside, I've noticed a lot since I've been playing regularly since Season 10. You don't really use this for the Necro, and a lot of the other classes now really just don't use this. Now, the problem with the set is that you lock out both your ring slots, so the extra damage that you get from them is nice, but generally speaking, a COE or some other kind of multiplicative ring is going to be better to take, and also you're locking out your second ring slot, so you can't take any defensive option. So I'd like them to rework the set. I think it could be quite interesting, so I'd go for extra damage, so maybe up to 75% on each ring, which would be a nice little buff, nice little kick for us, and it'll also add some damage reduction. So maybe 15% for each, so 15% damage reduction when you use a spender, and 15% damage reduction when you use a generator. I think this could help the speed builds as well, because it's not just going to affect your push builds you're going to make, but most people are going to spend a lot of time speeding, so the extra damage would be quite fun and be quite nice. And it's also going to make people come up with some different builds. You're going to have to put a generator in, you're going to have to put a spender in, and I just think it could be quite a unique season theme. Now, this really is the reason why I've gone for it over, say, COE or Endless Walk. Neither of those two things are going to appear in this list, because I just think that the COE is just going to be a little bit dull. It's every build pretty much uses it anyway. And the Endless Walk I think would help a lot with pushing, but in general it's not really going to be helpful for speeds, and that is probably what people spend 90% of the time playing. So number 5, Focus and Restraint. Let me know what you think. Now, number 4 is also going to be a speed-based theme, so I'm going to go for the combo of Ingerm and Nemesis Braces. I reckon this would be absolutely loads of fun to have. Everybody will get it at the start of the season. Your speed runs will be so much quicker. Lots of builds benefit from this, even if it's a push build. Extra cooldown on your skills is going to be helpful. Extra braces slot for the Nemesis is going to be extra progression. So again, I think there's going to be a really nice balance between helping out speed builds and also helping out push builds. And I just think it'd be an awful lot of fun. You get an extra weapon slot if you're using Ingerm anyway. That's generally going to be a multiplier, so you'd be giving a lot of juice to a lot of builds for speeds. That'd be pretty nice. Obviously, no push builds really use Ingerm, so again, it's just going to be handy. It's going to mix it up, and I think it'd be pretty cool. So, number 4, Season of Nemesis and Ingerm. So for number 3, I've gone for Season of Ramalandi. Now, the Ramalandi gifts essentially drop in the game, and they allow you to add a socket to a weapon. You know, it's a pretty cool mechanic. It's nice to get one when you get one in the season. You know, getting that extra stat on your weapon is very helpful. But I think it'd be really cool if they expanded this idea, and what I think they could do is they can make it so that the gift actually will socket anything that can roll a socket. So that would mean you could get one on your helm, you could get one on your offhand, on your rings, and on your amulet. So essentially the way it would work is you're going to get an extra stat on all of those items. Now, initially when you think about it, you might think, well, that's a little bit gimmicky, it's a little bit dull, I'm just going to be collecting Ramalandis all season. But I think it's actually going to encourage people to play multiple classes in the season, and I also think it's going to encourage people to stick with the season for quite some time, because if you think about it, you're going to get an extra stat piece on every jewellery item. Now, in this game, jewellery is incredibly powerful, so if you can get an extra stat on all of them and an extra stat on your offhand, then it's probably going to be worthwhile your time sticking through the season for the full 3 months, getting as many pieces essentially kind of like Ramalandi augmented as possible. Then that's going to help you out for your off season. So I think that would be pretty interesting. So let me know what you think. Number 3, Season of Ramalandi. So for number 2, we've got the Season of Set Weapons. So I heard about this on the New Meta podcast, which is great, and I would recommend it, by the way. And the idea here is that each class will get their specific set weapons for free. So if you're playing Barb, you're going to get the Bolcathos blades for free. If you're playing Necro, you're going to get the Jessuth, the Skull Shield, and the Scythe, and so on. Now, I think some of these items would need rebalancing because obviously Wizard for Chantodo, that's absolutely huge. It's great with Veers. It's one of the top builds at the moment. And if you think about it for Necro, the Skull Shield and Scythe would be really OP because it would absolutely juice mages through the roof. So you'd have a lot of, LON rats essentially, or Rathman builds using the mages, and some of these things are just not particularly great. So if you look at Dinessus for the Demon Hunter, there's going to have to be a rework. You're going to have to do extra damage when vaulting to make this worthwhile. The Norvald set for the Crusader, again, probably needs a bit more juice. It needs to be more than double damage, but all in all, I think it's fairly unique. You're going to buff a reasonable amount of builds. There's going to be ways to work some of the skills in. Some of them are just going to be general buffs. The only thing that will worry me, I suppose, about this would probably be Barb, because you are pretty much restricted to Whirlwind only for the season, and I think that would probably be a bit of a shame, but I still think it'd be a pretty interesting season theme, and it's only for a few months, and then the game goes back to normal. So let me know, what do you think? Season of Set Weapons, are you up for it? Do you think it'd be any good? So this is it. This is the best season theme that I've come up with so far, or that I've seen around. It's one that's been floating around for quite some time, and it is to open up a 4th cube slot. Now, I think a 4th cube slot would be absolutely amazing. It would open up so many more builds. Just having that one extra slot, whether you're going to take a weapon, whether you're going to take an armor piece or a jewelry piece, you really are just opening up so many more builds, so much more diversity. It would be really interesting to go through and find out what we could make. Now, obviously, there would be meta considerations. You would end up with really powerful builds. But again, given that we've now got T16 in the game, I think it would open up some more T16 viable builds. It would open up the speed meta to a lot of things. Again, similar to the Ingeome and Nemesis buff, if you've got a speed build that relies on Ingeome, well, you can now take an extra weapon and benefit from that. If you've got survivability issues in speed builds, you can take off your Nemesis braces and maybe go for APDs. So I really do think it would be really cool just to get that extra slot in there somewhere. And I think it could be quite interesting. Now, obviously, I'd say this is probably one of the least likely ones because it's going to involve a fair degree of UI changing. It's going to affect how the game looks. But hey, as I said at the start of the video, I'm an optimist, so you never know. So that's it, guys. That's my list of the top 5 season theme ideas that I've seen. So let me know your thoughts. If you think of any that would be interesting or better than these, stick them in the comments and let's get some discussion going. As always, I've been the Filthy Casual, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.